What's happening, guys, and welcome to the video. I am Cozza, and today we're going to be taking a look at some starting strategies and tips and tricks that new players might not know before they start their careers when building their own teams. I want to make this video as short and sweet as possible. Also, if you do have any comments, guys, please don't be shy. Write them down in the comment section. If you have any tips or tricks of your own that I've missed out, for instance, you might want to put that down there, get a discussion going in the comment section. I would also like to add that I do have a Discord. If you'd like to join that, I will set up a Motorsport Manager only channel, so you can all post your own screenshots, tips, anything you might have learned in the game. That will be all there for you in the Discord. If you do want to join the Discord, link will be in the description. So without any further ado, let's get this video started with tip number 1. So tip number 1, you've created a manager, you've decided that you're in for some punishment, and you've decided to create a team in Motorsport Manager. This is more of a mental tip, especially in your first 2 seasons. Don't aim too high. You're going to be starting off with the worst car, the worst driver. You're going to be in the lowest league. You're going to be earning the least money, at least to start off with. And when the chairman asks you where you expect to finish in the first season, I always go for finishing last, so 10th position. Just because the first season is more a survival than actual winning. You're not going to win races in your first season with the worst of everything. So think like that, and you should be good to at least complete your first season without getting sacked. And investing in the future will certainly help, and having a long-term view or plan will definitely help you in this goal. That's why it's the first tip on this list. Just don't aim too high in the first 2 seasons. So guys, tip number 2 is to upgrade the factory to make you more competitive when it comes to improving the car's reliability and in performance. Factory is important, as you can see here. It unlocks 2 more slots and an extra few staff. Improve the speed of your upgrades. I suggest dumping 8 million into that straight off the bat as soon as you can in your playthrough. That would really help you out. And yeah, that would be tip number 2. Tip number 3 is to do the practice sessions at every single race. The practice really does give you a bit of extra race pace. If you have decent drivers with decent feedback, the knowledge you can get on tyres and race trim will help you out with performance during the race. So I don't see why you wouldn't be doing these. If you are simulating them, at least try and learn a little bit, or at least have a go at the practice sessions. I would highly recommend it. It does give you, it just gives you an extra, if you get the level 3 one, it gives you an extra 15% performance boost, so I don't know why you wouldn't be doing it. Also with the tires as well. I highly suggest doing the practice and never skipping them. They really don't take that long to do either, and that would be tip number 3. Tip number 4, we're going to be taking a look at upgrades and what to upgrade in your first couple of races. And I would suggest going down the calendar and having a look to see what impacts each circuit the most in your particular season that you have. Most of the time it would be these tracks right here. I would suggest either the engine or the gearbox. They give you a lot of performance compared to the other ones. Deceleration is also good as well if you want to progress quicker. Them 3 things definitely worth an upgrade in my opinion. And that would be tip 4. Tip number 5, don't spend too much on staff, but get good potential. So when you're looking for staff, such as designers and race mechanics, low star count, but higher potential. So this person right here, lead designer, because at the end of the day, you're going for the long haul, not the short term. And I would say that if you're looking at this person and say, yeah, but she's going to be so cheap, and you really don't have the money to be spending, on a 3-4 star lead designer. You really want to go for people that have high potentials that you can grow into your team. And the reason why you want to do this is when you come to renew the contract. I mean, look at the price of this person here. When you come to renew the contract, you will get roughly around the same amount of what you originally paid for in wages, and they'll already be part of your team, so you can just up their wages a tiny bit and you won't end up paying ridiculous amounts on your staff. Trust me, it works. I've done it, and it really helped me save a lot of money during my first season. I got this woman here, and yeah, didn't spend hardly nothing on her. You know, that's a minimal amount I'm spending, and I'm in season 6 now, and she's still with me, growing really well. Same as your mechanics, these two right here, Kevin Saul and Becky Kitagawa. I'm sorry I butchered that name, but there you see, really low stars, but look at that potential in these two. Brilliant. And they're well cheap. I mean, wages are important to me, but it's only 37,000 a race. I mean, that is minuscule money you're paying for a mechanic that will be with you for a long time, especially if you sign them on a long contract. So yeah, you'll get pretty good deals if you go down this route. I would not suggest spending too much money on your staff. That'd be the end of tip 5. Tip number 6, and this is a strategy that I used in my actual playthrough. Concentrate on one car and one driver. I suggest using Andre Gomez because he has a great smoothness and he's a particularly good driver. As you can see here, he's okay, and he has great feedback as well for your practice sessions. High consistency, brilliant driver. Would not recommend concentrating or trying to get both cars into the sponsorship. If you really want to not fire Faith Anthony like I did and spend that money on breaking a contract, you can keep her, give her the worst car, and then fire her once the contract runs out at the end of the season. That's what I'll do now. But all I wanted to do was save money right at the start of the career, and obviously doing that saved me a lot of money. You know, I was only paying Gomez's wages, but yeah, just looking for a cheaper replacement and getting rid of the cost per race, that really does help. And money, the more money you have, the more you can spend in upgrades and just concentrating on the one car. Same with the upgrades. Do one upgrade and then instantly do another upgrade that is better than the last one you've done. Put that in the car of your number 1 driver. Give your second driver whatever scraps you want. That car will get you in the sponsor objectives. You only need 1 car to reach a sponsor objective, so why not just concentrate on 1 car at the beginning? There's no way you can afford to concentrate on both cars, especially with the budget you have starting out. That'll be tip number 6. So here we are at tip 7, and I'm looking at Bjorn Bjelland here, a paid driver. You really want to check out and see if you can get your hands on one of these guys. They really do help you out financially. What they do is they pay a certain amount. In this case, it was like 250,000 per race, and his wages were really low because he weren't very good. But I weren't looking for a good driver. I was just looking for getting that constant influx of money coming in. And you know, a paid driver is a good way to do that and balance the books a bit. So yeah, definitely want to look out for one of these in your career. That'll be tip 7. Tip number 8, and we're going to be taking a look at that all-important marketability. If you want to unlock these high-level sponsors, you really need to look after this and find the ways to get more and more. I suggest starting with the medium offer at the start of the game. That gives you an instant 40%. Upgrading your helipad, which will unlock 5-star sponsors, making a beeline for this at the very start, maybe even season 2, and then you'll see even down in these lower leagues, these 5-star sponsors give you 1.8 million just for coming first. You need to be over 90% to unlock the 5-star. The 5-star sponsors won't always pop up. When they do, you really notice them. Look at this one here, 700,000 per race for doing nothing. So you definitely want to unlock these, and it's something that, you know, you should try and race as high as possible, as soon as possible. That'd be tip 8. Tip number 9, and this is building illegal parts toward the end of the season to carry over to the next season. You don't want to use these parts in the same season that you build them, because you have this little sign here that tells you that they are illegal. So what I suggest doing is building decent. For instance, if you look at this engine here, using these for the remainder of the season, but building extra for both cars for the next season after. Once the season ends, you'll carry these parts over and they will lose the illegal status they've got here. So you'll be able to use them in the car next year without fear of them being discovered and banned. If you use them in this season, even these like low risk, I don't even bother trying it. if you do use these in the same season, they will most probably got a high risk of being discovered and banned, and you will lose that item. No point in using them at all. I wouldn't take the risk. Just build them, don't use them. Increase the performance of them towards the end so you get max performance out of them. You do not need to increase the reliability because you don't intend to use them. It will all carry over next year and the reliability won't matter anyway. You will get a massive performance boost by doing this, and yeah, it's a good, brilliant tip, this one. I do like doing this every single year. That is tip number 9. Last but no means least, tip number 10. When you're on your second season and you've done your first season, you survived. I've left this one till last because obviously it's further into the guide. I recommend not spending all of your money that you've put away on your chassis. But the simple fact is you will have no money left to do any upgrades. I just recommend, this is still a season where you're planning for the future, and plan all your money trying to get an extra start is not worth it. The only thing I recommend spending a tiny bit more money on is tire wear, and that is it. Like if you've got a good medium tire wear there, then take that, but that's about it. I would spend about 5.5 million on your second season's car when building the chassis. Yeah, max. You know what I mean? You don't need it at this point in the game, and you can still upgrade your car and still be competitive by not blowing all of your winnings from the season beforehand. Yep, that's it. That's tip number 10. So guys, we have reached the end of the video. I just want to thank you for watching, and hopefully you learned something in this tips and tricks guide. I have tried to cover a broad range of topics, and all these tips here have come from my experience with the game so far, but I've learned some stuff along the way that would have really helped me out when first time round that I didn't know. And I think these will really help new players, especially in creating their own team or starting from the bottom, like the underdog challenge or something like that. So guys, if you did like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. And as always, if you want more Motorsport Manager content like this, please consider hitting that subscribe button and letting me know in the comments what you want, if you need any tips, and I'll be happy to try and look at making a video on it. Yeah, cheers guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.